So the Detroit Pistons, Cade Cunningham, and the crew are going into Atlanta tonight. And it is going to be a test, an absolute test. Has Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons learned, progressed? Have they figured out what they seem to not be able to against the Indiana Pacers only a few nights ago? This team is going to offer many of the same factors that Indiana did. This is another playoff team. This is another team with an all-star level point guard that Cade will have another opportunity to make his bid against. I want to dive into all of that in this video. But before I do, this video is brought to you by Bridges and Stone's Family and Relationship Care. You know, there are times in my life that I look back on and wonder why I did not reach out for support. I recognize how much I normalized struggling on my own in silence when I didn't have to. If I was an athlete dealing with an injury, I would have sought out a trainer or a doctor. If I couldn't figure out a set play, settle teammate disputes, or my role on the team, I would have sought an assistant coach for support. Well, Bridges and Stones is a place to find well-trained, supportive coaching for your life. Don't struggle alone. Contact Bridges and Stones today for a free consultation and get your life back on track. Remember, none of us make it alone. The link is in the description box below. You know, the Atlanta Hawks are a good team. They are a good team, especially when they're healthy. When you have a lineup as big as they're able to present with Trae Young, they can go with Dyson Daniels at the 2, Zachary Risachet at the 3, Jalen Johnson at the 4, Clint Capella at the 5, and then they come off the bench with Bogdan Bogdanovic. Then they have my man DeAndre Hunter, who's a monster, Onyeka Okongwu, and recent starter. I want to say, I'm trying to remember how to pronounce his name. Krisic? So, somebody let me know in the comment section. But this team presents many of the very things that the Detroit Pistons could not solve when Indiana came into the Palace, came into their house, and ran them off the court. Dyson Daniels is one of the premier perimeter defensive players. Premier. He's like Asar Thompson with just more experience. Right? He has that quickness, that fast twitch, that lateral mobility, the dedication to that side of the court, where he is consistently going to execute a scheme against you, to put you into all the situations you don't like to be in, to guard you and make you feel uncomfortable, to get into your space, to not allow you to get into your bag and your moves. He's got quick hands. He's got a high IQ on that end. He communicates well, and he has good length and good help around him. Dyson Daniels is going to present a problem much in the way that Andrew Nembhard did for Cade Cunningham. The question is, has Cade Cunningham learned? Has he figured out how to accelerate the pace, how to utilize his screens, how to get off the ball and come back to it? Has he figured out how to get to his sweet spots? Because he's not going to be able to mess around. This is not going to be a game where you can kind of, just kind of flow through it, see what they give you. You're going to have to be very intentional from the get. I think to an extent, Cade Cunningham probably had a leg up on Amen Thompson because he sees his brother Asar Thompson every day in practice. So he kind of gets an understanding of the size and the length and the quickness and how he might try to be guarded by Amen Thompson. But Dyson Daniels is his own beast. He's a little bit shorter, about 6'6", not quite the vertical athlete, but every bit the lateral athlete, the speed, maybe not the speed, but pretty close. And the quickness of his hands, the focus and dedication to the defensive side. It is not going to be an easy night. And yet, these are the nights that he has to show up. These are the nights that if he doesn't show up, it's going to look really suspect when you're asking for an all-star bid and the other all-star point guards continue to outplay you, especially now that all eyes are looking. Before, when nobody was watching, you had to prove something. Now you have to prove something when everybody is expecting you to prove it. Aside from that, you also have the problem of guarding premier power forwards. When I say premier power forwards, I'm talking about the Pascal Siakams. I'm talking about Jalen Johnson. I'm talking about the guys who can go out there and fly up and down the court, who are extremely agile and quick, who are very skilled, can hurt you inside and out, and your opposing four is Tobias Harris. So I think immediately what we're going to probably see is Asar Thompson definitely get time on Jalen Johnson because Tobias is definitely over the hill. He's not the athlete he used to be able to stay in front of those guys. And I wouldn't expect him to try to put him on him, considering that they put Asar Thompson on Siakam last time, which, if you follow my video, did not bode well. I think it neutralized a lot of Asar Thompson by guarding him straight up and then allowed guys around him to be able to get off. It also created a situation where he didn't have help defense. Jalen Duren is not the best help defender, neither is Tobias Harris. And considering the size differential between Asar and Pascal or Jalen Johnson, who's about an inch taller than Pascal and definitely a stronger, more vertical athlete, I think it's going to create an issue. I don't think he's nearly as crafty as Siakam. I don't think he has nearly the offensive IQ. His talent is there, but not the IQ yet. He doesn't have the experience. But it's to say that I think you might see Jalen Johnson take a page out of Pascal Siakam's book. If they put Asar on him, he's just going to back him down. He's going to back him down, put him in the turnstile, give him a little up and under, give him a little jump hook, and shoot right over the top of him. I think Asar will be best served off the ball as a help defender and forcing Krejci, however you pronounce his name. I do apologize for not figuring that out. But put Asar on him and help off of him and demand that he beats you. I am kind of excited to see the progression as well of Marcus Sasser as he continues to be more focused on getting downhill, on accelerating the pace, on attacking the defense and collapsing it. I think he can have a big game in this game. He can come in and change the tempo, change the intensity, and I think he's going to be able to fill it up because I don't think that they have a backcourt member coming off the bench who's going to be able to stay in front of him or contain him in the least bit. This is not Houston where they had Aaron Holiday and they had guys like Cam Whitmore or bigger guys, athletic guys, Amin Thompson. You aren't going to have those guys in this game. So when Marcus Sasser comes in, I expect him to look to eat immediately. I think the shooters will have a good chance to get off as you're probably going to have Trae Young trying to guard Tim Hardaway Jr. off of those screens. You're going to have Trae Young. I don't know if they're going to try to hide Trae Young on Asar Thompson, which I wouldn't be shocked about. And I would hope Asar immediately looks to go to work. But it's to say it'll be a great matchup for this team. If you followed with me this far, I want you to post a basketball and answer me this question. Who do you think has the bigger night, Cade Cunningham or Trae Young? Who do you think has the bigger night, Cade Cunningham or Trae Young? Put a basketball and I'll make sure to respond to those comments first. Lastly, I want to say this. I think these Detroit Pistons, their ace in the hole is Jalen Duren. He has been rolling lately, and he deserves much love. He might be turning a corner, and if he is, it is not a second too soon. They need everything that they could get from Jalen. And if he can come in and be that double-double guy, which he should be able to because these are more traditional centers, and if Clint Capella is not starting and they have Onyeka Okongwu, he's going to be in a similar situation where he has a guy who's smaller than him. But let's be clear, Onyeka Okongwu is far more of a defender than Alperen Şengün is in terms of defensive IQ and his stick-to-itiveness to really defend and get up into you. At the same time, these are the type of guys that Jalen Duren has to prove that he is better than. He has to show us and remind us why he's not a backup. There's a reason why Onyeka Okongwu is a backup and Jalen Duren is not. And this is where he proves that. He has to prove that Okongwu is too small or Clint Capella isn't strong enough to be able to stay in front of him. So I expect Jalen Duren to have a big game. Hopefully he stays out of foul trouble in the process. Trae Young is going to do his thing. I'm looking forward to seeing Asar Thompson actually on Trae Young a little bit as well. I think that could be a great matchup. Put Cade on Krejci. Once again, forgive me for mispronouncing the name if I am. And then you put Tim Hardaway Jr. on Dyson Daniels, and then you put Asar Thompson on Trae Young and see what that can do. But as always, I want to know what you all think. If you stay with me to the end, drop some stars emoji and let me know what you think is going to happen in this game. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.